Hey everybody, welcome back to Rink's Garage. Today, we're going to tear this baby down. Let's get to it. So, plan is pull the hood off, fenders, all the front end, pull the radiator and that intercooler out of there, pull the turbos off, all these lines. He's kind of got everything hooked up, but it never had water in it or anything, so we'll get all that stripped down, get this whole front end apart, and then we'll see if we can get that motor and tranny out of there. Shouldn't be too bad, I don't think, so. Being he had it all apart, so nothing should be rusted up, hopefully. Well, there we go. These old Chevys are actually pretty easy to strip the front end down. There's not a whole lot of bolts, plus half of them were loose, so that's good. So, got doors off, all the fenders, all the front end. So next would be engine and tranny. And I noticed one of these motor mount bolts back up in there doesn't even have a nut on it. And this one's going the other way, so I'm guessing that one doesn't either. So we should be able to zip this guy out of here pretty quick too. But I got to figure out how I'm going to lift it. I think I might just go ahead and see if I can find a plate, valley cover plate for lifting it out. We'll pull the intake off, lift off of that. It's probably the easiest. And then see if I can find a cart too, a little engine cart with wheels. Otherwise we'll just make one, but go see if I can round up some of that stuff, and then we'll move on to getting that motor and tranny out of there. Well, ran to Harbor Freight. Got a little load leveler for the engine hoist. Picked up a super cheap tranny jack. It's gonna work for now. I did order a LS style lift that goes on where this intake manifold goes and an engine cart, but That doesn't sound like it's gonna be here for a little bit, so. But we're gonna see if we can get this engine pulled out, transmission pulled out. Gonna have to pull the intake off and probably this accessory drive so I can get the chains on. We're just gonna go one bolt in each end of each head. So basically I just got to pull these. I believe there's 4 on each side, 4 bolts on each side, and we can pull this intake off and then pull all these front bolts out of this and take that accessory drive off. So I'll get that stuff off and we'll get the engine hoist hooked up and then we'll go about taking some bolts out. Alright, we got the engine hoist hooked up. Got our chains hooked up on each end of the heads to lift it. I still got the bolts in there. We'll get them out after we get the transmission loose, but we got the tranny jack under there, so we'll slide under there. We got him under the tranny, and I pulled this back cross member out. It's laying over there. A couple pieces of angle iron and some flat iron, so like I said, we'll probably build a new one of them. But she's strapped on, pulled the bell housing bolts out, so it should be ready to come loose, hopefully. I think I just got to let the jack down a little bit, and hopefully she balances on there and tip over forwards. Put her down a little bit and see if we can. Slide this guy back. So that is loose. Now we should be able to pull out the 2 motor mount bolts and lift this sucker out of here. All right, so let the engine down a little bit and just get it leveled up with the motor mounts. Hopefully we can zip them out. Like I said, neither of them have nuts on, so let's see what happens. This one is loose. All right. Says the load lever is good for 750 pounds. I wouldn't get underneath it. Try to slowly let this thing down. Get her a little closer to the ground. All right, she is out. So now we can move on to the getting that transmission down there. I'll just let it down, slide it forward, and we'll probably grab that with the cherry picker or set it on the floor. I might be able to get out underneath if I jack the front up, but we'll see. But find some blocks so I can set this thing down without setting it all on the pan. And like I said, I ordered one of them carts, so when that comes, we'll just stick it on the cart with the wheel so we can roll it wherever. All right, we got our engine sitting down on the ground, got some blocks under the side, put a piece of rubber under the pan. I still got the weight on the engine hoist, so hopefully that'll be all right until our cart shows up. So next, we're gonna try and get that transmission out of there, so I'll let the tranny jack down low as it goes and see how close it is, and we might just have to jack the front end up, get it to slide out of there. Jack did not go as low as I thought it did. Ooh. So, plan B, we'll just slide it off the transmission jack, I guess. But everything's out, so next thing we can move on to getting the bolts out of the cab. So I'll get that transmission slid out of there, and then we'll move on. We'll get the cab unbolted and the box unbolted. Steering shaft will have to come off, and probably some couple random lines, the park brake line. We'll see what else is there, but basically get it all free, and then we can roll it outside and lift the cab and box off. All right, we got the transmission out. Found a couple presents on that. Looks like somebody was a little hard on the bell housing. We're missing one of the mounting bolts. Should be an ear like this over there. So that's nice. But we'll maybe be on the lookout for another transmission, but we'll throw him in. It'll be fine. No big deal. Next up, what do we got to take off, Peyton?
Cab.
We got to pull the cab off in the box. So we got everything cleaned out, kind of. There's a lot of junk in there. A couple boxes of aluminum piping, some other random parts. So basically we got to get underneath and see if them 4 bolts will come out of the cab mounts, which I've been dousing them with penetrating oil, so hopefully that helps, but usually they just spin, so see what happens. All right, so we got 4 bolts like that under here. I tried to spray up in there, but I don't know if I got to it, but we'll see what happens here. axle for one. It's tight. Let's try some under here. A lot of dirt up in here. I don't know if you guys can see up there. Try that one first. Think that one's gonna come out, Peyton?
Yeah. I see I was wrong.
Well, now what? Have to get a bigger impact, I guess. All right. We're gonna try and rip her off with the breaker bar. Something's happening. Uh-oh. Supposed to be longer than that. Well, broke off right in the nut. Perfect. Man, my arms are tired. Oh, come on. Man. Sure wish the camera guy didn't have my creeper.
Finally.
How about that? Didn't break. One more. Whew, that took way too long. Well, we got the cab bolts out. It was horrible. So, once we get it outside, we gotta take the brake lines off, unhook the steering shaft, and that should be it. That's still attached to the cab and we can lift it off. But I'm gonna try and get the bolts out of the box too. I'm guessing they're going to be about the same. And their carriage head on top, so they'll probably just spin. But we'll try it. Otherwise, we can just wait till later for that. I kind of want to get the cab off, get it back in the shop. So, ready? Go through it. Straight. And back to the other. Just like that. Nope. Go back to the other railroad. Back. That's pretty close. Just be ready to hit the brakes.
Right when the cab's under it?
Yep. Okay, use the brakes to slow it down. Keep going. Okay.
That good?
Let me throw a block under it. Well, that was interesting. We got her on the sawhorses, but I made a slight miscalculation. Turns out my $80 winch or whatever that piece of crap is, she doesn't go backwards, only sucks it in, so couldn't let her down to the ground. But leave the straps on it for now. She's sitting up on the sawhorses, so now we just got to make a little cart, set it on so we can wheel it in the shop. Probably just, I don't know, whip something up out of some angle iron or something and get her on wheels so we can roll it in and out. But other than that, we got that off. Of course, I couldn't get the box bolts out, so we'll have to do some cutting on them. Probably just cut the heads off inside the box so we can lift it off. But for now, we'll worry about getting the cab on some wheels. Don't mind him. So I got some wheels and some wood. We're just gonna make a little wood frame, set that cab on. I got a couple more wheels somewhere. This bag, I think. Also, it's like Christmas. We got packages. So I'll get this little frame laid out and we'll see if we can get it set up and set that cab on. Whip that out, huh? Got a little cart. Hopefully it works, I don't know. Hopefully she doesn't snap in half when we set the cab on. So, I did go and buy a new winch, so I'll get that rigged up. That one actually can go up and down, so hopefully we can let it down. But we'll get that rigged up and set her on the cart and get the cab back in the shop. Oh. I'm gonna have to take a run at it. That's good enough.
Should I shut the
It worked. Well, we got her in the shop on the cart. It was a little sketchy, but it worked. So now we can roll it around in here, get it out of the way a little bit if we need to, but we'll finish stripping her down, pull the master cylinder, wiper motor, fan motor, and then finish ripping the inside out of it, take the dash off and that stuff. So after that, we're gonna wait for a warmer day. It's kind of cold outside today, so take the pressure washer to her when she gets warm and see if we can peel some of this paint off. One other thing I did find in the glove box is actually the original build sheet. So the rear end that's under the truck is actually a 273 geared rear end, which is way too fast for us. With overdrive, cruising at 2,500 RPMs, it's gonna be doing about 100 in fourth gear. So we're gonna find a little lower gear rear end to stick under that. Of course, we'll finish getting the box off, then we can get going on that frame too. So other than that, we'll wait for the rest of our parts to show up. We got our body panels, we got our cart for the engine. So only thing left, I think, is the Holly stuff that's supposed to be coming. So I'm sure we'll have to order more after that, but it's a good start anyway. So, but that's it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Peyton?
We'll see you next time.